Yeah, so we have center pivot irrigation on this place, and which means it's a 1/4 mile long and it goes in a circle like that.
It costs us a lot of production costs to keep that irrigation going,
Yeah,
but
so
it does kind of give us an insurance policy that, even during a drought, we're going to have some type of crop. Well, greetings. I'm Ann Meis, and we are a family farm here in Nebraska. I farm with my husband, Jim, and his brother, Joe, and Jim's parents. So we are a 3rd generation farm here. But we have 3 children that we've raised here on the farm that have learned the work ethic that we do here on the farm and been part of our operation. A daughter, a son, and a second daughter. We hope someday that our son will come back and farm. He's 24 now and working out. And there's hopes that he will continue and be the 4th generation on our family farm. We raise corn, soybeans, and we also have some beef cattle. We rotate with no-till farming between corn and soybeans. We had a good planting season with our soybeans. We were able to get them in a very timely way in early May. They're looking good. We had some good rains in June. We had a good rain in July. Our beans are looking really good for finishing out this growing season. You can see we've got multiple pods on each plant. We're getting 3 beans in each pod. We're probably about 6 weeks out to harvest of these beans, and we're optimistic that it's going to be a good crop this year. We are about 80% irrigated crops, so we are now toward the end of our growing season. We are irrigating on a regular basis now to keep that soybean plant full, finish out the pod. We have what's called center pivot irrigation systems on our farm. Those are large systems that are about 1/2 mile long, and they'll make a circle around the field and irrigate the crop. We definitely want to get water on now where nature's not providing water and we're kind of dry. So we're able to finish out that pod, get a good healthy finish on the plant with our irrigation systems. So things are looking pretty good. We're looking to start harvest probably in about 6 weeks. Our yields, we hope, will be average or even above average. We're hoping for about 65 bushel beans on our irrigated, a little bit less than that on our dry land where it's not getting this water right now to finish out those pods. But I think we could get 55 to 60 even on our dry land because we got some timely rains early in the season. A little bit about our marketing and selling of our crop. Once we've harvested it, most of our soybeans are stored here on farm in our grain bins, and that gives us the ability to market and haul throughout the year. We own our own semis and transport our soybeans. They'll mostly go to a Cargill plant about 25 miles south of here, and beans will go into a railroad car and mostly go to the Pacific Northwest. Just because of locality, that Cargill is the closest elevator to us. So they'll go there, and most of them that aren't used locally for feed or sent to a crushing plant, most of them will go to the Pacific Northwest and probably sent overseas. So the foreign market's very important to us, we know that, and we appreciate the foreign buyers and the entire supply chain of the market. Because we're here in this rich, fertile land in the Midwest, we have all this rich land and we can grow the product, and we know there's a need for it in other parts of the world. With growing a crop, there's always a huge production cost. So, people look from the outside in and say, oh, prices are up, you're making a lot of money, but production costs are many. Equipment to operate, and then seed costs are more and more because we're getting better and better genetics, so we need to pay for those. Then we have the cost of chemical sprays, that weed control. We did put a fungicide on all our soybeans this year to keep the fungus and the pests down. We found that it does pay off, but we're constantly evaluating that cost and whether we're going to get enough production bump to make it pay for it. And then, of course, we have the land cost. We've built up an operation that we're fortunate that we own most of our land, but there's still a cost in owning that land. Of course, then we've got transportation costs and we've got storage costs. For that being, a lot of variables are involved in operation and your profit margins. And hopefully in some years you can make a profit to hold you over in those lean years where your cost of production is more than your profit and what you're selling your grain for. You know, we're in a cycle of high prices right now, so we're fortunate that we are profiting more from our soybeans. But remember, we sold some of our soybeans out of the field for a much lower price. So it's always an average that we generally will get because we try to sell throughout the year.